This application is known as roll to roll. What we're going to do is put in PSA over laminate on the top. We're going to put an adhesive back printed vinyl on the bottom. So the first thing I'll do is come back, grab my supply shaft off the machine by opening the cradles and lifting the shaft out. I will come over, pick up my adhesive or my over laminate, put that on just like that. And then we're going to take this over to the machine. Line up our tongue and our groove. Drop those in place. Close our cradles. Line up my film. About 27 because it's a 54-inch. Then we'll do the same thing with the bottom. I'll swing up my feed table. Lock that in place so it can't fall down on me. Open the cradles. Now it always helps to use your arrows when possible. That way you know where your tongue and your groove are. Now we'll take that over. Set that on the table. And we will take our adhesive back vinyl. Slide this through. Now one thing about adhesive back vinyl that's been printed, it's very slippery. So you want to make sure that you don't allow it to telescope while you're moving it around. So take this, bring it back over. We'll go ahead and line up our arrow and our tongue and groove. Drop it in place. Close it down. Okay, we look like we're pretty well centered. At that point, what I like to do is I like to bring my film down and this way I can see exactly where I am on the edge. So I need to slide that over just a little bit. Come back and check it. And we're looking pretty good. All right. So at that point, I can go back and rewind my film. Okay. Get our tray down out of the way. At this point, I'm going to separate my film from the release liner. And because this can be a little tricky, I like to roll over the first little bit of the film. And this gives me something to work with, so I'm not getting stuck to everything. And it makes a nice little leader. And I can do that all the way across. Give me something to work on. Go all the way, fold it over and under. And now I can hold on to that. You can see how much easier it is to work with. Fold that underneath, come down, bring this over, that top roller, and just let it drape, just like that. Then I will bring my feed tray up, lock it in place, and I'll come down and grab the printed adhesive back vinyl, and you'll go behind the bottom idler bar down here. If you'll look in here, you can see that bar. So I'm going to go behind that and bring it up. Bring that right up. And now we're going to take this, we're going to tack it right into that top roll of over laminate. So I bring it up about this far. Tack it across, and then a little bit of slack. A little bit of slack on the film. And then I'll just push this right into the nip area. Until I see that my vinyl is nice and flush on here. This is nice and flush. What you see in this area right now, that's because I have some heat on it. So it's going to give us a little bit of a honeycomb effect until we start running, and then that will all disappear. So I've got everything nice and flush. Then I'll go ahead and I'll close my rollers until I feel them touch. And once I feel it touch, I'm going to go like one number on the face of the clock. So I'm at noon right now. I'll go to about 1 o'clock. At this point, I'm going to use my foot pedal to get everything started through. Once I have enough through, I'm going to go around to the back side. I'll grab a piece of tape. We don't need a whole lot of tape back here. We just want enough to hold the very center of that. So I'll cut off my little leader that I use to get it through the machine. I'm going to bring this up just like that. And I'll tack it right here in the center. And that's all we need to put on there. At this point, I'll add a little bit of clutch over here because I had that off earlier. So now all I have to do is I'll reach over here and I'm going to push the run button and watch this, make sure it's wrapping properly. And it is. Everything looks good. I'll come back over to the front. Look at this. We have a little bit of river and wrinkling going through there, so I'm going to add just a little bit of break to that, kind of flatten that out. This will disappear as it goes into the nip. Now you'll see right in here how I've got a little bit of a bag on that release liner. I like to have that because that way I know I'm not overstressing that film. Some people will try to run it right up to the idler bar. I don't think it's necessary as long as it's staying right there and it's not being pulled into the machine. This also helps prevent it from getting a lot of dust because there is static that is built up through here. So any dust that's floating in the air will be attracted to that. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping that as clean as possible. Another way to set the machine up is to separate your film from your liner, and then we're going to roll that around like this. Get it going underneath the rollers so that I have enough to grab hold of on the back side. I'll come around to the back and I'll grab hold of that film and I'll bring it right straight out, just like this. Okay? And now I can tack it right to that core. Okay? Once I've done that, I'll come back around to the front of the machine. I'll raise my safety shield, put my locks in place, come down, grab the adhesive back vinyl. Again, we're going to go behind the idle bar, and then we're going to bring it up and into the rollers, just like that. At this point, what I can do is I'll take this and I'll put it right on that roller, just like that. Take a little bit of slack, get it started in there, and now we're nice and flat on that bottom roller. And then I'll go ahead and close. And again, as soon as I feel those rollers touch, I go one number on the face of a clock. Then I can go ahead and close my feed tray, lower that back into place, and I'll start with my foot pedal, make sure everything's going to go through properly. Hit run, come around to the back side, and as you can see, we're already rolling.